Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this exciting live attack simulation that we put together. Thanks to Redington Middle East. In this attack simulation, we'll show you how hackers abuse stolen credentials and so on to get into the production systems. The simulation will be carried out by Karthik Krishnamurthy, who is CTO at Indusface. Just one thing to note, we do not have a Q&A segment here because this is designed to get over in about 15 to 20 minutes. Should you have any questions, please reach out to Rajesh and he will address your questions after the call. Now, just one slide on Indusface. Indusface is an AI-powered application security company, and we protect web applications and API applications. We have 6,500 customers across 95 countries. We have multiple security platforms, one of which is Aptrana, which is a web application and API protection platform. Then we also have Indusface VAS, which is a DAST scanning and a pen testing platform. Then we also have an end-to-end API security platform that has everything from discovery, scanning to protection in the same platform. Over the years, we've been rated quite highly across various analyst reports, and we are also compliant with most regional and global certifications. Now, let me introduce today's speakers. First, Rajesh, who is a cybersecurity risk leader with more than 20 years of experience in cybersecurity, cloud security, and so on. He has a lot of experience even on public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, GCP, and specializes in multiple security disciplines, including vulnerability management, identity access management, SOC, and so on. So, Rajesh, thank you so much for joining us today. And on the other hand, we have Karthik Krishnamurthy, who is the CTO at Indusface. He has close to 3 decades of experience in building highly complex security software. He is responsible for our technology strategy and product development. Even prior to Indusface, Karthik held several senior architect and head architect roles at various security companies. Now, over to you, Rajesh, on a one-slide introduction on Redington.
Thank you very much, Funny. So, as you guys, you can see DigiGlass. So, DigiGlass is a cybersecurity arm of Redington, backed by the Redington service provider as a distributor across the different regions. So, we are doing the 24/7 proactive monitoring. We have 3 state-of-art security operation centers. We do the multi-tenant platforms. We have different solutions based on on-premises, cloud, into a different lower cost as well. We not only monitor, we also manage your device as well from different major security vendors. We are ISO 27000 certified, NCA certified, and SOC 1 Type 1 certified. We have got some of the excellence into recognition for 2025, which was MSSP Excellence Award with the leading MSSP distributor for 2024. We have a cybersecurity dedicated arm for global scale and delivery, where we are working closely with more than 20 plus alliance and partnerships with 3 security operations center across the region scattered, and we can deliver across the globe as well. 25 plus security professional in different domains across the cybersecurity for 360 degree. We can cover and packed up you with the market offering from all the domains, which starts from your SOC, your GRC, cloud data, and your vulnerability management, and we can take care of your comprehensive security and compliance as well. This is a brief introduction about DigiGlass, so you can connect us post the session in case of any queries. Thank you very much. Passing on to Funny.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajesh. So I think then, without further ado, let's get into the crux of the presentation. So I will, stop sharing my screen, and I will pass it on over to Karthik.
All right, let's get going. So today we're going to talk about credential abuse and show why is that's obviously a serious attack, as everybody knows. If you get your credentials, the attacker is for all intents and purposes you, until you go and realize this and start taking a lot of action. And it's very difficult to it's not difficult in terms of difficult, but it's also very onerous in terms of what you have to do to revert things that can happen with a bad credential being used or misused. So we'll show you what credential abuse is, what the problems are with it, and why some of the protection that AppTrunner provides for it. So this is what we're going to go through today. So let me just start off by saying that credentials abuse, as per a very recent report from Verizon, has become the #1 attack vector. And that kind of makes sense, right? Because it's in one sense one of the easiest things, because it doesn't require a very sophisticated attack if you have, because of the whole balance that all websites have between security and having people, they want users to use this thing, and they can't make it extremely difficult to actually get into their system, to use their applications, right? So it's always that typical balance between usability and security, and so if you get credentials, you will typically get them. So what is credential abuse and what kind of attacks are happening in credential abuse? We'll show you a few a little bit down the road. But credential abuse basically is that you can use stolen credentials and try it out on multiple websites, because people tend to use the same passwords in multiple sites. Because we have so many sites so many applications and so many this thing that we use on a daily basis, and how many different username password combinations can anybody remember? Of course, there are better ways around this, but most people will tend to use either similar or same username password pairs, and or sometimes just I would say algorithmic, adding specific numbers or years to the end of it, kind of stuff, right? And why is it such a bad thing? I think we touched upon a little bit earlier, but it's not that difficult to actually get your hands on a list of stolen credentials. When there's a breach on the dark web, for sometimes not even a very high cost, you'll get dictionaries of username passwords, or a dictionary of a whole bunch of most common passwords, and big bunches, right? Along with that, with the way that computing is available and cheap, it's easy to send this kind of attacks on a broad basis, right? One more thing that as everybody knows, with VPNs and open VPNs, and the fact that you can start off from here and launch a machine anywhere in the world, it's very difficult for even anybody to track you down, because even legal notices typically don't, unless it's a really big thing and really big entities get involved. It's very difficult to cross geographical or national boundaries to get your hands on who did what kind of stuff. So tracking is also difficult, and it's very easy to spin up these things. The other thing, not necessarily this thing, is that how are credentials stolen, right? You hear about the mass leaks kind of stuff, which is typically where databases itself are stolen. But there's also ways that if attacks on specific targeted attacks or scripted attacks on sites, which means which allows for anybody logging in credentials to be stolen as they are logging in, kind of stuff, right? And there's not always a lot of protection that most web applications or APIs have developed to prevent these kind of things, right? Most web application developers or companies are kind of interested in running the business, and that's it. They're not security specialists, and many times there are vulnerabilities and stuff that are missed and that can be exploited. all of us see this in the news all the time. At least if you see a few, I suppose it depends on the feeds you get. But definitely, I think everybody knows, everybody's attending this webinar will know that these are the high profile ones that are shown. But I'm sure there's, you would realize that, when these large well-known companies this is happening to, there are obviously smaller breaches happening all the time that's not even making the news. Okay, so with that preamble to kind of set the context, let's jump right into showing how this whole thing works. So, all right. So let's just get into into this thing. So we have an open site and a secure site. So the open site is a site that's just open to the internet, no protection, no security, other than what is part of the code. Secure site is protected by Aptrana, and we will go through this and show you how these things work. So let me go into this is let me just go into the login page. So if I show you this, I will just show you in opening developer tab. So you'll see the network requests that are going through. I will specifically filter on login. So one of the things that web applications we encourage to do, or it's generally best practice. Let me show you this. So let's put unknown user and some password, right? When I log in, you get a 404 not found page. When I do the same thing with the known user, unknown password, you get a 401 not authorized, which means the user is valid, but the password wasn't correct. So this is leaking information to any attacker that, you know what I can do now? I can actually enumerate usernames till I find a username that works and start getting 401. That means that username was valid. And then I work on the password, right? If you have to try username password combinations, it's a M into N kind of problem, right? If it is username separately and password separately, it suddenly becomes an M plus N problem. And that's obviously a much, much faster and easier thing to do. So it's always best practice that when the username password doesn't work, you don't give any extra information to the attacker or to anybody doing it that hey, your username was incorrect. Everything else was fine, but this was not correct, kind of stuff, right? And finally, if I actually log in here, what you will see is that obviously yet another yet another status code. This is redirecting to a page where everything is the details are there and stuff like that, right? So this is one thing that is best practice for all websites to do. Now let me show you a slightly different attack. This is something that I will just here we go, right? So let me get to the thing of how might a user do this, right? How would they guess? In this case, I gave a valid username password, of course, but if I was this thing, right? If you come back to the login, how would you get in here? Here I knew the password so I could get in, but when I see there's not much protection here, what I would do in this case is that let's run this on open. So this is a dictionary attack. This is a Python script that is reading a dictionary and trying username password combinations, right? So it's not even using in this case that this site was giving a lot more information of, hey, is the username correct or not? It's not even doing that. This is actually, let's say the site did not leak that information. It's still trying every combination of username password that it has in the dictionary so that it can actually go and try it. And this dictionary actually, we found it's not a very large one for the purpose of this demo, but we picked it off the darknet, and this is typical dictionary attacks here. So we'll just run this, and it's going to try various combinations, and sure enough, it found the admin password because it was a well-known password which was leaked earlier or something, and we could get it. So this is something that is that this is an attacker would do to iterate, and honestly, it's normally a lot faster than this, right? We've actually, for the purpose of a demo, so that it's a little bit more visible in the webinar, we actually slowed down the request, but we could go a lot faster if the website does not rate limit as it seems like in this case it's not doing. So if I go back here, like I said, we have a secure site, which is the same. I mean, it's the exact same backend in that sense, but this is protected by Aptrana. So if I try the same thing on Aptrana itself, the only difference is the same script. The only difference is that it's hitting a different website and trying the same attacks. So if I let that go through, once again, it's going to go through and try, and sure enough, it's trying to iterate. What you will see after till here, you're getting 404s, right? Which means, hey, the login is failing. After this, from attempt 30 onwards, you'll start seeing from 31 onwards, actually, after 30 invalid requests, you start seeing 406. 406 is a status code that Aptrana returns when it says that you are being blocked by our thing. There's an active security that is stopping you from going here, kind of stuff, right? So that's what's happening here. And okay, in this case, the script of the attacker, obviously they don't waste their resources. So after so many things, they realize, okay, there's a security device in place, I'm going to stop even trying, kind of stuff. So they go away, right? This limit is set to 30 in this thing, but obviously it's configurable in the real system. You might set it lower or might set it higher. You might have graded protection that, okay, after 5 or 6 you saw captchas, after so much you just slow them down by making them wait 1 minute before trying again. There are various protections you can enable in Aptrana to prevent this kind of high volume, high speed iteration of username password. Okay, let's continue with the next kind of attack, right? What we will do is, let me go to, let me first of all make sure that, let me go to here. So we're going to the MFA thing, right? So this site or this site, this application has decided that they will actually make it much more secure, but they'll by entering a MFA code each time this thing, right? So this is typically a Google Authenticator, Microsoft, those kind of applications. Some kind of secure token, right? It could be an OTP in some cases, whatever it is, but it's the second factor, multi-factor authentication, right? So here I know the username password, and I'm going to enter the MFA code here so that I can get in. Okay. Okay, so yes, I'm in, which is great, and life is good, and you think you're very secure, but this website was vulnerable to other vulnerabilities, which actually we're not going to cover in this webinar. We've done it in previous webinars. So this website is vulnerable to SQL injection and cross-site scripting and various other vulnerabilities. And that has been used by the attacker to implant something that can steal your existing credentials. So what it's doing is that when you log in, it is actually going to leak credentials to this particular page. So this is the cookie that has been stolen. Your session ID has been stolen. This we can see from here. Application. Cookies. So this is the cookie that's been stolen and exfiltrated to an external site here. And how can you use this, right? This can be used by the attacker to actually impersonate or become this user kind of stuff, right? So what we will do is open this thing. Let me open a completely different browser so that we can actually show how this works. All right, so let me open a different browser. Open this page. Obviously, I'm not logged in yet. If I try to access main.php. I will not be able to get through. It'll keep sending me back to the login page. So what I'm going to do is take this credential. I'm going to replace the session cookie with this, and then go to main.php again. And now suddenly I am this user. I have the login session. I have that guy's credentials. I can actually, do whatever I need to do. I can transfer money. I can this thing, right? So this is the danger of stolen credentials, and this is why attackers love it, because once you can do this, you can see the problem. Of course, this is showing it like a bank, but in almost anything, right? After that, it gets very, very difficult to have deniability saying that, okay, I did this or I didn't do this transaction kind of stuff. It's a big problem to this thing, right? You can actually transact on behalf of the user and do anything you want. Now I do want to try the exact same thing that we did here, right? Which is the same page, which is I'll go to the the multi-factor authentication page, and I will try the same the same kind of what do you call login kind of stuff. The same thing. I'll just go through the same steps here, right? So I'll go to login mfa.php. Let's go through this. Oops, I'm going to go here. I'll get rid of this. So you'll see the full network request. And I go through this. So same thing, admin. It also has, oops, once again. I wasn't that, okay, once again, I need a okay. And what we see here is that if you notice this is the one that was trying to exfiltrate the credentials, right? It's being blocked. It's being blocked by a CSP policy, which is content security policy. This is something that that Aptana can add automatically for you by for any web application that it protects by observing traffic, so it knows what is what. Like, then obviously the user can review it in case they need to, kind of stuff, right? So this actually prevents the credentials from being leaked when you actually go and access it. So even though the website actually has the vulnerability, Aptana's security policy can prevent the, because it's doing browser level security as well. It's actually preventing the exfiltration and abuse of those credentials. So this is the high level what is happening on this thing, and the kind of protections that we can do across various this thing, right? Sorry, I'm just getting back to my presentation here. Yeah, so this is like, even though MFA could be bypassed in certain other cases, and this is one way of bypassing it, with Aptana, you're protected against that as well. So before I get into anything else, let me just show you, like, Aptana, has some nice features I'd like to show you there very briefly. But first, let me just get into I'll just show you the portal of what exactly has been happening here, right? So let me do this password. Okay. All right. So this is the Aptana main dashboard, where you'll see it's a one snapshot view or one pane view of everything that's happening on your assets. It's not the specific websites, all the domains that you own, and what's happening across it. I'll quickly just go into this just to show you. When you have this thing, this is where you can actually go through and look at all the assets that you've currently onboarded, all the assets we've discovered through various techniques, from the subdomains to API gateways to web applications that are behind these subdomains, and various things that we will discover from this. And you can decide, okay, this is something that I don't yet protect, but I do want to protect it, kind of stuff, right? And this, in our case, a lot of this is no longer live, so we're not adding it to this thing because this is all part of the webinar and testing and all those kind of things. What I wanted to show you here actually is not this. It's actually the attacks. Let me go to the secure, and this in secure you can see these attacks that are happening. I know which is my IP. This is my IP, and I just want to show you what exactly has been happening with this IP here, with these attacks. And this is what you can see. You can see obviously that the script that we use has been hitting login.php, and eventually rate limits started getting applied and started getting blocked, right? So that's what's being shown here. So anybody can come back and analyze it later and say, hey, who's this IP? Is it worth it? Can I block it permanently? Blah, 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 right? So this is the kind of stuff that, it's a very, very quick view. There's obviously a lot more features here that I can show you. This thing. What you'll also notice is obviously you don't see anything for CSP here, by the way, because the CSP is blocked by the browser. It doesn't come back to the AppRunner backend server for us to log it or something. This is logging. These logs are from where AppRunner server is in the middle of browser to website traffic, and that's typically what's getting logged here. Let me go back. That, in a nutshell, was it's a very, very quick summary of the different features that AppRunner have. But the main focus of the webinar, of course, was the credential abuse and the credential stealing and how AppRunner can protect against it. Thank you.